15 years ago, Mark MacDonald left his native PEI for Ontario to pursue his harness racing dream. Today at 34, he's one of the most successful drivers in the history of the sport. A two-time O'Brien Award winner as Canada's Driver of the Year, MacDonald has steered some of the finest horses of modern times. In 2006, his 745 season wins set a new Canadian record. Last week, he surpassed 4,500 career wins and $56 million in purse earnings and is currently among the top 5 drivers at WEG and across the country.
Ready.
All right, welcome to the Tarmac Show. How you doing, Mark?
Pretty good.
We should probably set the record straight, first of all. 31, not 34.
Yeah, 31.
Yeah,
That's
31.
Pretty insulting, but that's okay.
You'll let it go this time, right?
I'll let it slide.
All right. So thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
As viewers may or may not know, you sort of unwittingly maybe started a bit of revolution last week. Can you tell us a little bit about your new... Oh, goodness. We're in the dining room, so sometimes these things happen.
Good job, Curtis.
Yeah, all right. So last week you started, you opened your Twitter account, or should I say perhaps Curtis, your brother, opened your Twitter account. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing between the races.
I've just been adding some tweets, trying to give a little insight into up-and-coming racing and races. And, just I didn't really know what to put. Just thought I'd try it and see how people liked it. And there's lots of people following it now, so people seem to like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah,
you have quite a few followers. And basically, for those of you who aren't familiar, Mark's been giving some insight prior to the races and after your races as well. So sort of between races, tweeting, I assume, on your phone.
Yep, on my iPhone, yep.
Right, and...
I already broke one.
Pardon me?
I've already broke one.
Have you?
Yeah, one's broken. Yeah, I'm on my second one in 5 days.
Oh, goodness. All right. This could be an expensive endeavor for you.
Yeah.
So you've been providing some insight as to not only how you think you're going to perform in the upcoming race, but also how you did perform. So that would lead me to the question, first of all, did you just sort of jump into this, or did you have this determined beforehand that you really wanted to open this Twitter account and take on these tweets?
Yeah, no, I thought about it. Me and Greg Blanchard at Woodbine had talked about it, and it was something he kind of thought we maybe should be getting into, and I thought it was a good idea. But I did think about it because I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to say something and have it come back on me. So I try and be just very transparent, very open with everything I say, and when I put something on there, I always back it up. I always back it up on the racetrack. So I mean. Just try and do your best. I don't want to offend. You try not to offend anyone because there's people following it, people reading it, and so I just try and be very transparent and open.
It seems to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that it's something that's attractive to you to be interactive with the fans. Is that correct?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, everybody knows we're having trouble in the industry. Our bet's down. And it's just something to try and open it up a little bit and create a little interest. And if it gives the public a little more information, that's what it's all about. I mean, if someone's thinking about maybe betting on a horse I'm driving in the next race, and they read on my Twitter account that I'm going to give them an aggressive drive, maybe they'll bet a little more, or maybe they'll be a little more confident making their bet. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's great. I think it's good to get information to the public.
All right, well done. All right. The flip side, of course, is that you are accessible to the public. You have a Facebook page as well.
Yep.
You're my friend on Facebook.
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
You didn't maintain that Facebook page for a while, I know, because I got a sudden, I did check your status one time, you had a sudden emergency call, but you had about 350 people who'd requested to be your friend, and the whole system seized up.
Yeah, it crashed, I had a couple, that's happened a couple times,
right.
But I'm on top of it.
You're on top of it now, all right.
Not really, but mostly, as much as I can be.
All right, so the flip side is, if you are accessible via Facebook or via your Twitter account, I guess the question is, do you think that drivers have a responsibility to answer for their drives? You're only human, right? You can make tactical errors.
Yep.
I'm sure you make errors all the time. Not you personally, but all drivers.
Yeah, I'm sure some people do, but I don't make very many.
Right.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Exactly. So do you think drivers, or you specifically, I guess, have a responsibility to be accountable for those, to speak to it?
Sure. I mean, if I make a mistake on the racetrack and somebody wants to say that they're entitled to it, especially if they're up there betting their money. But like I say, as long as I'm honest and transparent on that, and everybody knows it's everything's on the up and up, and it's just more information to the public. And if someone wants to say something to me about a bad drive or a good drive, that's their business, and I'm totally open to that. I mean, I don't mind criticism at all, because I'm my own biggest critic, and when I come off the track, if I made a mistake, I'm the first one usually that knows it. So you know, it does happen, but you try and keep them to a minimum.
I think it's also, and we touched on this prior to coming on air, it also allows the opportunity to give some insight as to what else may have transpired in the race that may have caused a poor performance, where perhaps the betting would indicate there should have been a better performance.
Yep.
And you've actually alluded to some of that in your tweets last week.
Yep, I had a couple mares at Woodbine that I thought would be really good, and they both made breaks. And actually, one had both of them had, one had a foot separation, the other had a quarter crack. I didn't know going into it. They both raced poor, and you know, I had blood on my suit pulling up, and I was like, oh, where's that from? And they both had one had started just a brand new one, and the other one was an old one. So they both kind of had the same problem. So I just put on that. That's why those two didn't race very good. So it's like I say, it's just maybe to the average Joe that's just betting their money in the grandstand, and they read that, and it's a little reassuring, you know, why your horse didn't race good, and maybe that's something to watch for. And horse comes off 3 weeks, you know, they obviously got that problem fixed. Maybe you know, it's something you can wait for and get your money back down the road.
And of course, the great thing about Facebook and Twitter and all of those social media tools is that they're available to anyone who searches them out. So certainly anybody who wants to follow you or any other driver that takes up this venture, they can just hook it up and away they go.
Yeah, they go to Mac Racing, and you know, they can follow, anybody can follow it. So if they want a little more extra info and they're betting on the races, they should get on it.
Right, the advantage. All right. Okay, so that's going to take us to our question from one of our viewers. This is from Dave Snyder, and his question for you, Mark, is, are you going to be at the Gold Cup and Saucer this year, and are you anticipating that you will have a drive?
I really hope I'm going to be at the Gold Cup and Saucer. I love going to Charlottetown, obviously. I'm from there, so I don't have a drive yet. So, but you never know.
It's early, very early.
It's very early.
Yes.
It's everything's kind of. I find everything's last minute with that race. It seems like this time of year there's 100 people going, and then the week before there's maybe 10 or 15, and then it gets narrowed down. So I'll probably get a phone call, but I don't know yet. You know, I'll be there even if I don't have a drive. I'll be there for a few days anyway.
It must be quite an event for you to go home for.
It is. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's my hometown. All my relatives and family are there, and it's exciting for me to go back home and race and drive in front of everybody and try and put on a good show.
All right, excellent.